Our final race on Meet Your Candidates is for Wisconsin's 74th Assembly District. The district includes all of Bayfield, Ashland, Price, and Iron counties, and a portion of Vilas County around the Lac du Flambeau Reservation. The challenger in Assembly District 74 is Republican James Bolen of Cable, Wisconsin.
Hi, my name is James Bolen, and I am running to be your representative for the 74th Assembly District. I'm a northern Wisconsin boy. I was born in Park Falls, grew up in the little town of Winter, and now live in Cable. Another way to say it was I was born in Price County, I grew up in Sawyer County, and now live in Bayfield County, all three of which are at least partially in the 74th District. For the past 23 years, my wife Heather and I have ran the Lake Owen Resort. Our oldest son Matthew recently graduated from Northland College with a degree in biology. Our daughter Caitlin is a military wife whose husband is serving in the Air Force, and they recently gave us our first grandchild, Oakland. She has both grandma and grandpa wrapped around her little finger. Our youngest son John just started his junior year of high school. After nearly 25 years of raising a family and running a business in northern Wisconsin, I know firsthand the challenges we face here in the 74th. Many of those challenges are unique to rural northern Wisconsin. Northern Wisconsin is different than the population centers like Milwaukee and Madison in southern Wisconsin. I have been talking to folks throughout the 74th District, and the message I get is very clear. They feel that Madison either passes legislation that doesn't make sense in northern Wisconsin or forgets that we're here. I believe that it's your representative's job to make sure that that doesn't happen. That's why I'm running for the Assembly. I spent 12 years as the Executive Director for the Cable Area Chamber of Commerce, and during my time there, I worked closely with Democrat and Republican administrations. I hosted Governor Doyle and touted the broadband project Norvado was undertaking in our region. I also invited him to cut the ribbon as we opened the first ever medical clinic in Bayfield County, for the grand opening of the Cable Natural History Museum, and for a canoe trip down the Namakagon River. Governor Walker appointed me to serve on his Council on Tourism, and I hosted him for the Governor's Fishing Opener, again when we announced the Walleye Initiative, and for the 2015 Paralympic Nordic World Championships. I worked closely with key cabinet secretaries for both administrations as well. I built strong relationships with folks in tourism, DNR, transportation, Department of Administration, and many others. You see, I didn't focus on the initial after someone's name. I focused on getting things done for the Cable area. I'll take that same approach with me to Madison as your next representative. I'll work with the legislature to pass good, common sense legislation that works for northern Wisconsin. I'll advocate for solutions to challenges facing people, communities, and businesses within the district, and I'll work with the administration to find common ground so we can deliver the type of government the people of northern Wisconsin expect. A government that works on solutions that work in urban areas, but that also work in the more rural parts of our great state. These are uncertain, unsettling, and unprecedented times. We need to address how to move forward while dealing with COVID-19.